about outgoings at Manchester United, Dharmesh?
Yeah, Carlo mentioned Alejandro Garnacho. The other ones, the high-profile ones, Rasmus Højlund. Ruben Amorim says that Højlund is part of the squad looking for this weekend against Arsenal. He is open to a move to AC Milan, is Rasmus Højlund, but he's not fully convinced yet. Talks have taken place between Milan and Højlund's representatives, and they are waiting now for the green light from Højlund to really push with Manchester United to try and get that deal over the line. As for Jadon Sancho, we know that Roma have made a £20 million bid to Manchester United to sign him. Roma are now speaking to Jadon Sancho's representatives to tell them about the project and also the terms of a contract. Again, if they are given encouragement that Sancho would be open to the move, then Roma would then push with Manchester United to try and generate a deal between the two clubs before, hopefully for them, if they want him, signing Jadon Sancho.
In terms of trying to transform their fortunes, Manchester United are definitely backing Ruben Amorim in the transfer market. That's fair to say with that front line. But how significant a change would it be to get in a player like Carlos Baleba, despite the fact, as Dharmesh has said, this would be a difficult deal to do?
I think it's almost impossible this summer. We've been speaking to the Brighton chief executive, Paul Barber, today as well. And he made it very clear that Baleba is not going anywhere. He said, we're looking forward to seeing him play for us this season. So I still think United need to bring some more players in before the window closes. Yes, they've done a lot of business across their front line, but they do need, I think, reinforcements in midfield and perhaps in defence. And there's still question marks over the goalkeeping situation as well. But I don't think it's going to be Baleba. Baleba maybe will have to be one for next summer. But if he has another really good season, his value is just going to keep going up and up and up, even though his contract situation is going to obviously develop, because he'd only have 2 years left on his contract next summer, although I don't know if Brighton have got the option to extend that by another 12 months.
Well, one thing I would say about Manchester United is before the window even opened, and how last season when they finished 15th in the Premier League and they lost that Europa League final to Tottenham Hotspur and Bilbao as well, I think most pundits and most experts were saying this is not a one window fix. This is 2, 3, 4 windows it's going to take before Manchester United can really begin to challenge again. But because the window started so well for them, Matheus Cunha came in really, really early in that window. Bryan Mbeumo, there was lots of talk, and even though it was only sorted out a few weeks ago, there was a knowledge that that deal was going to happen. So people were getting pretty excited. Look, Cunha's done, and Mbeumo's done. Oh, can they get a striker? Oh, they've got Sesko. And now they're getting a little bit greedy, for want of a better word. Oh, why don't we just not sign the midfielder now? And they're thinking about, oh, we could challenge for top 4 here. Whereas I think if you go back and just take a step back, I think most experts would agree that it's going to take a little bit longer than just this one window. And sometimes, because of the players that Manchester United need to unload, and also the money that they need to generate to be able to replenish this window, it's nigh on impossible to do every single position in one transfer window. Yes, they would love to bring in a midfielder. That's why there is this interest. And one thing I would say about the Baleba interest is because it is out there and because Manchester United might have explored the conditions of a deal, we know how transfers work. Manchester United and other clubs do not go and express an interest in a player blindly. There must be some sort of encouragement somewhere along the line that maybe the player might think, you know what, I might be open to that move. But that is completely separate here to what Brighton's position would be, because even if Carlos Baleba just say he did want to go to Manchester United, Brighton can just say, well, you're not going anywhere. You've got 3 years left on your contract. We've got a year's option. And if we are to let you go, then it's going to be over £100 million. And people will say, well, you can compare that to the Alexander Isak situation. And so why are people saying, well, it's still potentially going to happen to Liverpool? Because we haven't really heard of any disunity or disharmony with regard to Carlos Baleba at Brighton.
No, those are very distinct in that respect. Yeah,
that's the big difference.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because when you look at the amount of money spent, you know, Liverpool have spent almost £300 million. That's without Isaac, if it does happen. Chelsea have spent around £250 million. Manchester United up until this point, £214 million. But, they want to be competing, especially given the fact that Liverpool and United are currently on 20 top-flight titles each, and they sense that Liverpool might get back on the perch if this spending continues that they can't keep up with. But on the point of sort of, it's not a one-window fix, Darmish. I mean, Carve, I wonder about this. Harry Maguire said in a recent interview that United were mentally weak in the past. And how much do you think that these new signings and then things like, for example, the refreshed training ground might add to a sense of rebirth, renewal at Manchester United to try and change things culturally as well? That sort of wider context piece, I guess.
I think, look, what Manchester United have to do is back Ruben Amorim, which is exactly what they're doing, and give him as much time as possible, because there's been too much chopping and changing of managers, too many managers buying different players which haven't worked out. Now, sitting here, it's been a good summer for Manchester United, but we don't know how these signings are going to work out. Not every signing works out the way you think it's going to work out. For instance, when United signed Jadon Sancho, a lot of people were very excited about the impact he was going to have, or Anthony, or Højlund. In the transfer market, you're going to have hits and misses. Now, on paper, it looks like the three forwards they've signed are all going to be hits. And if you're a United fan, you'll be thinking, Ruben Amorim's got it right this time, Jason Wilcox got it right, Jim Ratcliffe's got it right. We need to get behind the team. But remember, United are not going to be challenging for the title this season. The aim is just to get back into Europe. It's going to take a few steps, and it's going to take quite a few transfer windows as well. I think if you're a United fan, you just want a big improvement on last season, and you want to see United playing, attacking and defending in the way that United fans are used to seeing their teams play and perform. Yeah,
and at least in terms of the incomings, it looks like it is shaping up that way, and we will discuss the United outgoings later on in the show. What about Alejandro Garnacho and Xavi Simons?
I think there's still a very good chance that they'll both end up at Chelsea, but players have to leave Chelsea as well. Players probably like Christopher Nkunku, like Nicholas Jackson, like Raheem Sterling, like Ben Chilwell, because I don't want to be like a stuck record, but Chelsea have this agreement with UEFA that they will balance their transfer spending this summer. So for every penny they spend, they've got to bring a penny in as well. But I think it will end up with these two players coming to Chelsea. But Chelsea's valuation of somebody like Garnacho, I think, is well below what United are looking for.
Manchester United target Sen Lammens has emerged as a serious candidate to join Inter Milan, Sky Sports journalist Mike McGrath has revealed. The Italian club are reportedly set to hold talks with Royal Antwerp over the phenomenal 23-year-old shot-stopper and are pushing for the move to happen. An unnamed French club are also believed to be keen on Lammens, who was high on Man United's list of potential goalkeeping targets this summer. Givmesport's senior correspondent Fabrizio Romano previously reported that United have scouted Lammens heavily in recent months amid their search for a new first-choice shot-stopper. McGrath, writing on X, has revealed that Man United are only likely to target Lammens in the event of a goalkeeper leaving this summer. Amid Inter's ongoing pursuit of the 23-year-old Lammens, who joined Antwerp from Bruges in the summer of 2023, became the Belgian club's primary goalkeeper last season, making 44 appearances across all competitions and keeping 10 clean sheets. He also started in all of Antwerp's 3 league games in 2025-26, overseeing 2 draws and a win, while conceding a goal in each appearance. Man United were on the lookout for a new goalkeeper following Andre Onana's hamstring injury, which saw him miss the entire pre-season. The Cameroon international picked up the injury in the first week of pre-season training at Carrington, and his absence meant that Altay Bayindir deputised during the summer. While there have been links with several elite shot-stoppers, including Aston Villa's Emiliano Martinez and Paris Saint-Germain's Gianluigi Donnarumma, no moves have materialised yet amid Onana's anticipated return to action. Earlier this month, the 29-year-old revealed he was targeting a return for the start of the Premier League season and is now expected to start between the posts for Arsenal's visit to Old Trafford on Sunday.